Hello, hello. Welcome, Jennifer, again to our interview. Thank you for speaking with us with Rulion, and we'd love to get to know you for our viewers. Tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm very happy to be here. So thank you so much for the invitation. So my name is Jenifer Avellaneda. I am currently a senior engineer working at Westinghouse Electric Company. And I work for the nuclear energy industry, which is something that I'm very excited to share with you today.
Fantastic. We have seen that you're very active on X, and you have a fantastic name. Can you tell us how you came up with the nuclear hazelnut?
Yes, yes. So that is one of my favorite questions, actually. So, for Spanish speakers, my last name, Avellaneda, sounds very similar to Avellana, which in English is hazelnut. So, I basically joined my last name with one of my favorite words, which is nuclear. So, that's how Nuclear Hazelnut was born. It's kind of a personalized nickname that I really like.
Well, we love it, and we're not even Spanish speakers, and we fell in love with it. And well, I personally love hazelnuts, and we have actually a team member who's called Hazel, so we were bound to love it. Do you remember what was the first time you heard the word nuclear?
Yes, I think it was an iconic moment, if you ask me. The first time I heard about nuclear and nuclear energy and also nuclear power was when I was approximately 12 years old. I was reading a novel. I am a fan of thrillers and books whenever I have time. And when I was 12 years old, I was reading the novel Angels and Demons, which is written by Dan Brown. And well, the concept of antimatter and also nuclear energy immediately captured my imagination and also curiosity. So that was a moment I realized that the world needed, let's call it innovative solutions to its energy challenges, right? Because also at the same time, I started learning about climate change in school, on the TV, in my classes. So I also realized that that was a problem that we are shared globally. And in order to tackle it, we need global collaboration. So it kind of became clear to me how much we need energy in order to reshape the sources of energy in our planet, right? And this realization sparked in me a lifelong curiosity about science and technology and how we could kind of join forces to tackle this biggest challenge that we have. So, this early inspiration from a book basically guided my decision to obtaining a degree in sustainable development engineering and later on pursue a career in nuclear energy.
Fantastic. That is an iconic aha moment indeed. And thank you, Dan Brown. And well, we have him to thank for this. So you were fascinated by nuclear. Nuclear became a lifelong fascination for you. Then how did you get into the nuclear career that you're in now?
So, ever since that moment, everything in my mind was related to nuclear. All of my questions, everything that I was asking to my teachers back then, or my projects, whatever I wanted to be involved, I really wanted it to be related to nuclear energy, nuclear technology, nuclear science. So I started considering nuclear energy very seriously during my undergrad studies because, as I mentioned, my degree is in sustainable development engineering. So it is not nuclear engineer. And there I basically study all clean energy sources, including nuclear. So as I learned more about these sustainable solutions, nuclear energy kept always standing out as the most reliable, scalable, safe, and also environmentally friendly. And this, again, in order to meet our global energy demands and also tackle climate change, because again, it's something that it's unfortunately affecting us all. So, yeah, all of my questions, all of the kind of challenges or my projects led me to get to know myself a little bit more and say, yes, I think nuclear is my way, nuclear is my passion. I'm not an expert. I wasn't like a super bright student. It was challenging for me. Let's accept that. But I am here, following my passion, tackling my challenges, and every day meeting it with a smile.
Well, it definitely shows. What was your first impression when you first started out? of the industry.
So, if you allow me, I would love to talk to you about my journey in the nuclear industry.
Of course, yes.
So it's not that long, but after earning my bachelor's degree in sustainable development engineering, I sought for opportunities to explore like a broader energy landscape, right? Because my family has been 100% dedicated to oil and gas. So I was like the only one focused on a different on a different industry, right? It is still energy, but clean energy. So upon graduation, I started my journey at the International Atomic Energy Agency. I was an intern there, and I had the opportunity to gain, let's call it, first-hand experience with global nuclear policies and also the real-world applications, because I wasn't only focused on nuclear energy. I also focused my work and my studies into nuclear sciences, like how to help some health issues or agriculture issues, space exploration. So it was definitely a great experience that opened my mind and also helped me to realize that I was on the best career path that I could choose for myself. So that exposure basically solidified my interest in nuclear energy and made me realize that anybody could come to the industry. You don't need to be a nuclear engineer to come and work within the industry. And I think I'm the perfect example. So I can put it that way. You might find passion on a different like career path, but you are still welcome within the industry. We not only need engineers, we also need researchers, we also need marketing people, we need project managers. Like, we're a super team here, so everybody's welcome. And well, last but not least, after finishing that specific experience, I started working at Westinghouse Electric Company. I started as a risk assessment engineer, which is a role super exciting for me because I believe that it aligns with my passion for nuclear energy, but it also allows me to combine that technical analysis and practical solutions, like a real world solutions. So, alongside my career, right now I'm pursuing a master's in nuclear engineering at Texas A&M University, and this, well, in order to deepen my expertise and also broaden my impact within the field, right? So I love the technical portion, but also I'm advocating for nuclear. I want to tell the world what I know so they can also fall in love with this technology.
Wow, I love the journey. So I have two questions actually at the back of what you've just told us. One is, how do you find the transition from policy side of things into Westinghouse, which is very hands-on? And then can you tell us a little bit about what a risk analyst does?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first of all, talking about Westinghouse itself, and not because I work for them, but I see them as a leader in the industry. There are many other leaders on the industry, right? But Westinghouse is one of the most iconic because that company was a pioneer in this industry, right? Most of the reactors that are currently working on commercial nuclear power plants are contains Westinghouse technology. So I can proudly say I know how that technology works because my company has been teaching me ever since I started with them, right? And they also have a deep background on how to work with many other branches, not only engineering, but also financial, how to propose a project to a certain government or certain political parties, right? So I think they have a deepened experience within the industry overall, technologically, politically, financially. So that's what I am there because it aligns with my passion. And also regarding a little bit about what I do, so it is called probabilistic risk assessment. And what myself and my team do is basically analyze risk, how to mitigate it, and what would be the consequences of certain events happening. So let's put it this way, we are always ahead on what could happen and how to tackle it in case anything happens. So the branch that I work for, it's also something that makes nuclear energy super safe. And also part of the reason what I share, what I use in the nuclear haze and not handle is like, hey, I do this for a living. I work on this and I can tell you, like, I'm not getting paid to share all of my insights with you, but I do it anyway because I want you to have the sources and the knowledge to have an educated opinion, an educated, yeah, opinion.
That's great. I love how it's all about the probability, even if it's tiny bit, and the preparedness that it takes, and that there's a dedicated team. All you do every day is to think about possible even if it's a tiny bit possible scenarios and coming up with contingency plans. I don't know many industries, well, maybe aviation, can even claim to come close to that. This is fascinating. Mentors, you must have had a lot of inspirational people up until this point in your career. Can you name us a couple of people who made a real impact on you and your career?
No, definitely. I know my list would be very, very long because I wouldn't be where I am right now
This is like
without
the
the support
Oscar
of
speech,
everybody.
accept.
I'm prepared for this. No, many professors, many people that have helped me guide my journey have a special place in my heart, you know? So I would say, as for right now, a special mention goes to my professors at Texas A&M and also the Monterey Institute of Technology, which is where I got my undergrad, my colleagues at Westinghouse, and also a few individuals who have had a profound impact in my journey. So I can name a mention. I can name a few if that's okay with you.
Of
I
course, we'd
would
love to hear a shout
Yes,
out if you want to give anyone a shout out.
absolutely. So first one it would be Dr. Federico Puentes Bell. So he was my undergraduate professor. He definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone, and he was the one who encouraged me to apply for the IAEA internship. So that moment itself became a pivotal moment in my career. Next one, Dan Tierson. So he's my mentor right now at Westinghouse, and he has been invaluable. So he's an expert in PRA. I wanna become like him. He's my role, and he has taught me everything I know about the field. So shout out to Dan too. And also Christina Rocco, who is my Women in Nuclear mentor, also part of Westinghouse. She has been also great. It's also really nice to have a women role model. And I say this because did you know that 20% of the whole workforce industry are women? So it's very nice to know more colleagues like me, right? And finally, last but not least, a shout out to my professor, Dr. Pavel, who's currently my advisor and professor at Texas A&M. He had definitely inspired me to continually challenge myself and also stay curious, which is something that I like. The topics that he teaches are, my goodness, incredibly challenging, but he's definitely helping me to grow professionally too, not only academic. So shout out to them.
Oh, fantastic. I'm sure they'll be very happy to hear their name being mentioned. And I love how you have a mix of names there from academia as well as your as well as from your current workplace. So this is fantastic. You've said already anyone can get into nuclear, and it's a great career, especially if you have developed or if you've developed a passion for it, even curious about it. It's a great place to be. Can you give us some tips for anyone who is considering nuclear? How do they get in, or how did you get in? You said a couple of people helped you out, and of course, it helps that you've always been so passionate about it. But are there any tips and tricks that people can use?
The first thing that comes to my mind, and that's actually a very interesting question, is stay curious. Keep asking questions. Look for people. If you, for example, are passionate about sustainability, about innovation, or even making a global impact, as I have been saying, I believe that nuclear energy is an incredible field to explore. It is basically where science and technology come together, and all of this to address world's biggest challenges. And as I already told you, it's not only talking about, for example, the energy industry. If you're interested in the health industry, if you're interested in the agricultural industry, the space industry, there's always place for nuclear energy passionates. And well, let's all keep contribute to a more sustainable future, and not only future but present too. We need to start building now.
Absolutely. I love what you said. We need to start building now. You must be getting a lot of people, a lot of interest when people hear you work in nuclear. And I read in your X account that one of the most common questions you get is about waste and waste management. What do you wish, if you had a magic wand, what do you wish the public knew about nuclear that will really help move the dial about nuclear's image?
Wow, that's a tough question. I think part of what I do, as you mentioned, on my free time is basically sharing what I know, because we have a very powerful tool right now, which is social media and internet connection, right? And it's very easy for the user to ask questions, but it's also super easy to receive different answers or different replies. So if I would have like a magic wand, if you ask me, is to erase false narrative. What I want them to know is that nuclear energy is safe, is reliable, and everybody is welcome. That's what I wanted. I want everybody to know, right? And it's okay to ask questions. Feel free to ask questions to professionals or to people that are obviously open to be more than happy to walk you through any type of issues or answers. For example, as you mentioned, many people always raise their hand and they're like, yeah, you say all of that about nuclear energy, but what about the waste? And then this is how I start my answer. It's like, that's a great question. But just for your information, do you know that that is actually spent fuel? Because it is not a waste. It can be reused. And that's how, I start building up trust and also try to push the negative narrative that most of the people already have in their mind. So, yeah, I would say I would do that if I had like a wish or a magic wand.
Erase the false
Narrative.
narrative
Yeah.
out there, the negative false narrative,
Mhm.
which will be indeed amazing. So you've been working in Westinghouse for some time now. You must have had some very good experiences. What is the best part of working at Westinghouse? You said being at a leader, working for a leader already is amazing. What else can you tell us about working in Westinghouse?
Ooh, well, I'm going to talk about two different things because you obviously by now know that I am extremely passionate about the industry. So you could potentially see Jenifer is biased because she loves nuclear energy a lot. But I can also mention that I love, as for Westinghouse, and I'm pretty sure other companies have many other benefits too, but it's the flexibility that you get to see that everybody shares your passion. So it's not only another day of work. No, everybody is very happy to stay challenged and to teach others, to mentor others. Also, share information within different departments of the industry, not the industry, I'm sorry, but within the company. So, whenever I have a question about communications, it is very easy and they are very open on the communications part of Westinghouse to receive my questions, to answer them. Or what about the sponsorship? What if I want to pursue another type of education? So everybody's very happy at what they do. Nobody is like angry or mad or would like to change their job. That's at least how I perceive it. And the teamwork that we have been building, and I'm specifically talking about my department because that's where I have the most experience, but everybody is very happy to help, to receive new projects, to receive new challenges, to ask questions. I have no idea how to do this, and I already spent a certain amount of minutes trying to look for the answer. I'm going to look for somebody else that helped me. People are very open to support each other, and all of this also for a common goal. Because as Westinghouse keeps receiving projects and keeps receiving challenges and tasks for within the industry, we keep learning, we keep pushing nuclear energy within our environment and within the society and also politically speaking or financially speaking. So I love very much that about Westinghouse, that yes, probabilistic risk assessment has been challenging, but I had the opportunity to work within a team that is always happy to guide me. Because it's not, as you heard, I didn't study a probabilistic risk assessment engineering degree, right? Or undergrad degree. No, not at all. Most of the concepts were very unknown to me. All of the activities were also very new to me. And they were always happy to teach me, always happy to say, hey, you'll be the next one to mentor the future engineers. So we keep giving the hand to each other, helping each other, pushing each other boundaries. And I think that's what I like, that it challenges me professionally and also academically. That's why I'm studying my master's half time and also working full time. So it's
Wow, that
everything
must be
about challenging
hard.
yourself.
That's
Yeah,
I love the combination of challenge and supportiveness, and that's probably is the best combination there can be. Really, hat off to you for doing a master's while also working full time. That is tough indeed, but listening to you, totally possible.
definitely.
You mentioned the future. Anything is possible. Everybody in the company and industry in general is very supportive. How do you see the future of nuclear? Where are things going?
Well, I see it extremely and incredibly exciting, if you ask me. So we have heard a lot about advancements like small motor reactors, microreactors, or also cutting edge fusion research that they have been working towards on. Also, applications that go beyond Earth, like space exploration, as we just quickly talked about. Basically, within the nuclear industry, the possibilities feel endless. Nuclear energy itself has the potential become or to become a cornerstone of the clean energy transition, because I know there is still many opposite thoughts and opposite feelings regarding what clean energy is, right? But yes, that's the potential of nuclear energy to keep becoming or keep pushing to stay in the clean energy transition conversation, right? And I also think that we as an industry need to address public concerns, but head on, communicate openly, not trying to be, like close doors and close windows and close everything. No, communicate openly about what we know. I'm not saying share confidential information, not at all. But most of the questions that people have, people that are not familiar with the industry, are very easy for us professionals working within the industry to answer. And also keep pushing the boundaries of innovation. I cannot wait to see a microreactor in my neighborhood, in my backyard or in a building. So nuclear energy is definitely a field that it's evolving quickly. And I'm very thrilled to be part of, shaping wherever it goes next.
I love how you said the cornerstone of the sustainability journey. I really love that image. And in fact, with the renaissance that's been happening in nuclear past year, with all the interest, I think it's very much the future. I think you are absolutely right about feeling super excited. And we are, as Rulian, super excited too. So you're very active. You are a big voice for nuclear, about this communication thing, not shutting the windows, but opening yourself up and inviting people into nuclear. What do you wish people, and I came up with these questions, but I'm sure there's a lot of repetition with all the other questions you get asked. And what do you wish people ask you more? What is the question you will love to answer more?
Wow, that's a very interesting question because I don't know. I wish they could ask me, how can I apply to this job, regarding nuclear energy industry? Like,
How can I
yes,
apply to this job? I work in marketing. How
yes,
can I apply to a job in marketing in nuclear? What do I have
yes.
to say? Tell me.
I think that's it. Like the question that I would love to hear more often is like, where do I apply? How can I start? To see people are
How
really
do I
excited
start?
to start
Yes.
within the
What do
industry.
I do? How do I get in?
Definitely. But I mean, regarding any other questions, I'm more than happy to answer. But if
Okay,
you are
so
ready to start your career within the nuclear energy company,
come to
yeah,
you. Okay, we'll point all hands towards you, Jennifer. For anyone who wants to get into nuclear, ask Jennifer how for tips. Well, this has
more than
been amazing. Thank you so much. It's been so refreshing to talk to you as someone who's super enthusiastic, super open, and super fun to have a conversation with. But thank you, Jennifer.